Welcome back to my channel. The movie begins with a scene in a hospital, where we see a doctor puzzled about why an X-ray was ordered just for a bite on the hand. He asks a nurse named Anna to locate the patient. Anna checks the system and finds out that the patient has been moved to the ICU, which seems very strange for just a bite. After her shift ends, Anna heads home to her husband, Luis. Since both of them are busy in the shower, they don't realize that the TV broadcast has suddenly been interrupted and an emergency news bulletin is being aired. The next morning, Luis wakes up when he sees their neighbor Vivian standing outside their room. As she steps into the light, Luis is shocked to see blood on her face. He tells Anna to call an ambulance and rushes forward to help Vivian, but she suddenly bites his neck. Anna quickly pushes Vivian out of the room while Luis collapses on the bed. However, Vivian tries to attack again. Terrified, Anna slams the door shut and presses a pillow cover onto her husband's wound. She tries to call emergency services, but only gets a recording saying all lines are busy. As Vivian keeps pounding on the door, Luis dies on the bed, but only for a moment. He wakes up as a zombie and attacks Anna. Anna manages to push him away and grabs the car keys before he can start destroying the furniture. She runs into the bathroom and hides, accidentally falling into the tub. She tries to open the window, but it's jammed. Suddenly, the house goes quiet. Anna approaches the door and softly calls out her husband's name. Luis breaks through the door and enters the room, prompting Anna to try opening the window again. This time, she succeeds. As she starts to climb out, Luis tries to grab her, but she kicks him off, freeing herself and jumping outside. In the streets, people are running in panic and fear. Several houses are on fire, and distant explosions can be heard. Anna tries to get information from a neighbor, but the man threatens her and yells at her to stay away. Suddenly, an ambulance runs him over and speeds off without stopping. As Luis also comes out of the house, Anna quickly gets into the car, but Luis jumps onto the vehicle and starts pounding on the window with his fists. Fortunately, he falls off as Anna speeds away. Driving through the city becomes chaotic. People are driving like maniacs, and many are stepping in front of cars, pleading for help. On the radio, a host advises everyone to stay indoors and keep all doors and windows locked. Even military bases are no longer safe. Eventually, Anna reaches a street where more explosions and zombie attacks are taking place. When a man suddenly opens the car door and tries to grab her, Anna screams and shoves him away, speeding off again. In the struggle, the car veers off the road and crashes into a tree. As zombies wreak havoc across the world, authorities attempt to address the media, but no one knows how or why this all began, and there is no known cure. Soon, protests erupt in the streets against the government, and the military takes control of cities to try and contain both humans and zombies. When Anna regains consciousness, she meets a police officer named Kenneth, who asks her to speak to confirm she's still human. The two of them set out together and soon came across 3 other survivors. At first, the group fires at them, mistaking them for threats. But then they recognize they're human. The 3 survivors explain that they've tried multiple routes, but all are overrun with zombies. So they all decide to head toward the mall. As they try to break open the door, several zombies approach. Kenneth shoots the lock to break it, and everyone rushes inside. One zombie tries to force its way in, but Kenneth shoves it back and slams the door shut. Later, they turn on the lights, but the phones are dead. They're inside a store with locked doors, so they pick up a toilet and smash it through a window to enter the main mall. Anna washes the blood off in a fountain while the others check the front doors, which are locked. Andre and Michael go to check the other entrances, while the rest guard the front. At the back entrance, Andre gets scared when he sees a zombie behind a glass door, but fortunately, the glass holds. In the arcade, Michael grabs a large sledgehammer from a game and follows some noises coming from behind a door. Suddenly, a zombie attacks him, knocking him to the floor and breaking the hammer. Michael manages to keep the zombie's mouth away from him and stabs it in the head with the broken wooden handle. At the main entrance, a zombie grabs Andre's pregnant wife, Luda. Kenneth shoots the zombie, but it attacks him and throws him into the fountain, injuring his arm. As they struggle in the water, Anna picks up Kenneth's dropped gun and fires at the zombie. The bullet only hits its shoulder, but it's enough to make it back off. The 3 run and regroup with the others, heading into the elevator. On the upper floor, 3 armed guards stop them and tell them to leave, But after a brief argument, Anna convinces them to let them stay, though they're forced to surrender their weapons. They watch the chaos, deaths, and destruction unfolding around the world on TV. They also learn that the only way to kill a zombie is to destroy its brain. One officer mentions that Fort Pastor is safe, and Kenneth recognizes the name because his brother works there. Andre takes Luda to the bathroom and notices a wound on her arm. Since it's small, he ignores it. While searching for a first aid kit, Anna gets emotional, but composes herself and treats Kenneth's wound. Michael suggests they reinforce the weak spots in the mall and paint a signal for help on the rooftop. The guards head downstairs and find a dead security guard in the fountain, now a zombie, and are forced to shoot him in the head. They then sweep the stores and eliminate any remaining zombies. Later, they throw the zombie corpses off the roof while the others finish the SOS sign. From up there, they can see the entire city, and it's crawling with zombies. When they hear gunfire, they use binoculars and spot a man, Andy, on the roof of his gun shop. He holds up a sign saying he's alone and points to the sky. A helicopter flies overhead, and everyone waves at it, but it ignores them and flies away. That night, the guards lock the survivors inside a store to stop them from stealing supplies. Michael says they need to take action because help isn't coming, but Andre remains hopeful that the helicopter will return. Kenneth doesn't care about the argument. His only goal is to get to Fort Pastor and find his brother. Meanwhile, the guards watch TV and listen to a preacher claiming that the zombie outbreak is a punishment for humanity's sins. The next morning, the mall's automated system turns on all the lights and music, waking everyone up. Only static is heard on the TV now, which means the signal has been lost. Guard Terry goes looking for the control unit, and Anna spots him. She convinces him to open the store so her group can use the bathroom. Terry reaches the control unit, turns off the music, and checks the security cameras, which reveal a truck approaching the mall. When Terry informs the others, everyone quickly rushes to the rooftop and debates what to do. Anna insists they should welcome all survivors, but CJ and Bart don't trust strangers. Terry disagrees with his friends, and Michael and Kenneth take the opportunity to punch the guards and disarm them. Terry then leads everyone to the mall's loading dock, while Anna and Luda prepare a signboard to guide the truck to the back entrance. But the truck moves in reverse and crashes into the building, forcing Andre and Michael to go outside and fight the zombies. They shoot down all the approaching zombies, but eventually run out of bullets and dash back inside. Fortunately, the people in the truck are safe. They deliberately rammed the building so they could climb up and enter without getting attacked. Once everyone is inside, Anna announces that she'll examine everyone for injuries, including a very sick woman being wheeled in on a wheelbarrow. Kenneth says he wants to take the truck and head to Fort Pastor, but Steve and Norma explain that they've just come from there, and that place has already been overrun by zombies. Disheartened, Kenneth goes up to the roof, where he sees Andy signaling from his gun shop. Kenneth uses a sign to inform Andy that Fort Pastor is gone and no help is coming. Andy responds sarcastically, and Kenneth laughs. Meanwhile, Anna is tending to everyone's injuries. Terry checks on the sick woman, who suddenly dies. Anna confirms her death by checking her pulse and covers her with a blanket. But the woman suddenly sits up again. As everyone realizes she's become a zombie, they start to flee. Anna grabs a fire poker, and when the woman approaches, Anna stabs it into her eye. Seeing this and remembering her own husband, Anna tells the group that anyone bitten by a zombie eventually turns into one. Frank has also been bitten, and Anna wants to quarantine him, but Michael believes he should be killed before he turns. Kenneth agrees. Anna rushes to warn Frank, and his daughter Nicole pleads for mercy, but no one listens. He is allowed a final goodbye, then taken to a locked room where Kenneth waits for him to turn, and then shoots him in the head. Days pass as the group tries to stay busy. Kenneth and Andy play chess through signboards. Bart and CJ play cards in the holding cell. Anna watches movies with Michael. Nicole and Terry grow closer under the stars, and Steve spends time with Monica when he's not golfing on the rooftop. His golf balls often hit the zombies outside, as their numbers keep growing day by day around the mall. The group frequently writes targets on signs, and Andy snipes the marked zombies with perfect aim. One night, all the survivors sit together for dinner and talk about the people they've lost, when suddenly, the power goes out. Andre immediately rushes to check on Luda, who's very sick and has been tied up. 4 men go to inspect the generator and find bloodstains on the walls. There's movement in the dark, so they ready their weapons, but it turns out to be just a dog. Michael calls the dog over and it seems friendly, until it starts barking. Suddenly, a zombie drops down from the ceiling and bites into Bart's neck. The noise draws in more zombies who begin appearing at the end of the hallway. The group immediately starts running, but it's too late for Bart. He gets left behind and is devoured by zombies. Kenneth and Michael open a gate to let the others through while CJ punches a zombie in the face to buy time to shut it again. They lock the gate for added protection and start shooting at the zombies climbing over it. Their ammo is running low, and when one zombie falls, it brings part of the gate down with it. Michael finds a fuel pump and sprays gasoline on the zombies, and CJ throws a lighter, causing a massive explosion that burns all the zombies to ashes. Meanwhile, Andre watches Luda, taking her final breaths, and bids her farewell. But when he looks at her pregnant belly, he's shocked to see the baby still moving. Suddenly, Luda wakes up, now a zombie. Andre cautiously ties a belt around her mouth so she can't bite, just as she goes into labor. Elsewhere, Norma realizes Luda has been missing for too long and enters the room, only to find Andre holding the baby and Luda zombified. Norma immediately shoots Luda, and in a rage, Andre opens fire on Norma. The gunfight kills them both. The rest of the group rushes into the room after hearing the gunshots and listen to Norma's final words. Terry raises his gun to shoot her, but Anna stops him, saying she's already dead. She won't turn into a zombie. Then they look at the baby. It's a zombie infant, and are forced to put it down. After clearing the bodies and fixing the generator, Kenneth says that waiting around to die is worse than death itself. Anna agrees, saying she doesn't want to die here. Michael mentions there are 2 buses in the garage that they could reinforce and use to escape. Steve jokes that he'll take his yacht instead. But the group realizes that reaching an island might be their best shot. Everyone begins modifying the buses using tools from the mall. Their ammunition is running low, but they plan to rescue Andy, who might have more weapons. Kenneth contacts Andy using a signboard, and Andy writes back, "Hungry? Since finishing the buses will take time, they decide to send food to Andy. They remember the dog survived the last attack, so they attach food and a radio to it and send it across. The zombies don't attack the dog, and when Andy opens the dog door, the zombies try to reach through. Andy quickly fires his gun and slams the door shut, but over the radio, he reports that he's been bitten. Nicole, distressed, gets in a truck and drives toward the gun shop to save the dog. She parks in front of the door and goes inside, while zombies start climbing onto the truck. The group hears her call over the radio, and Kenneth spots through his binoculars that Andy has now turned into a zombie, and his sign is smeared with blood. Andy enters the building, and Nicole is forced to hide. A few men head out to rescue Nicole, knowing they'll also need to retrieve the weapons from there. They pass through the sewers and emerge onto the street, opening fire immediately. Kenneth takes down many zombies, but one of them manages to grab his weapon. They climb into the truck and enter the gun shop through the dog door. They grab as many weapons as they can and follow the blood trail to find Andy, who is furiously banging on a door with a sledgehammer. Kenneth apologizes and shoots him in the head, saving Nicole. To escape, they throw a fuel canister from the roof and shoot it, causing an explosion that burns the zombies. They run back quickly and return through the sewer. The zombies push Tucker down, and his leg breaks. CJ tells the others to go ahead while he stays back to help Tucker. He fires at the zombies and tries to drag Tucker, but the zombies swarm him. Tucker begs CJ to kill him, so CJ shoots him and rejoins the others. Finally, the group reaches the mall entrance, but Steve is nowhere to be seen. Zombies are climbing the stairs, and everyone starts shooting. Anna arrives and opens the door. They can't shut it again because the zombies are pushing through, so they all run. The remaining survivors and the dog get into the elevator and close the doors. They reach the garage and find Steve, whom they angrily scold. The group splits into 2 and boards the buses, smashing through the garage doors to escape. Zombies surround them from all directions, and the buses barely manage to move. Everyone fires through the windows, and Steve even uses a chainsaw to slice through some zombies. As the horde thickens, CJ throws another fuel tank and ignites it, creating an explosion that clears the way. The buses speed through the city, with only wrecked vehicles in their path. Kenneth sees a zombie clinging to the side of the bus and swerves to shake it off, but the zombie, Glenn, falls with the chainsaw and lands on Monica, killing them both. The bus crashes and flips over. The second bus arrives to help. Steve grabs a gun and steps out, but is immediately killed by a zombie. The others rush to rescue their friends, and Anna discovers that the chainsaw killed both Monica and Glenn. Suddenly, zombie Steve returns. Anna shoots him in the head. Terry shoots another zombie, but the gunfire draws more of them. The group provides cover fire to buy time. During the chaos, Anna retrieves the boat keys from Steve's body. She fires at zombies and, with help from the others, reaches the bus. Michael pulls her inside, and CJ kills the approaching zombies and seals the door. The bus races ahead and breaks through that gate, arriving at the shoreline. It almost plunges into the water, but luckily gets stuck at the edge. Everyone rushes toward the boats. The zombies arrive too, and CJ gets surrounded. He tears open his last fuel tank and detonates it, killing the zombies and himself. The rest begin boarding the boat, but Michael reveals he's been bitten. He says goodbye to Anna, pushes the boat off, and as his friends sail away, he takes his own life. In the end, Anna, Kenneth, Nicole, Terry, and the dog survive. During their journey, they shoot a zombie floating on another boat. Days later, after running out of fuel and their food spoiling, they reach an island. But to their horror, it's swarming with zombies too.
Oh no!